Okay, everybody, how you doing? I'm your host, John Brown. We got another episode here of John Brown Black Coffee. We got my man Brandon here today, so let's jump into it and see what you got for me, brother.
Like I said, I'm the dad with the son who's a quarterback, and I've been watching your videos. I've been learning from you. I've been taking pointers, but I was waiting for someone else's to jump on here with
With a
their kid as a
quarterback?
quarterback, so I didn't have to do it.
Okay.
But I'm here now, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just trying to get him from point A to point B. He's a 13-year-old moving to high school next year, and
He's young. He's young.
he is.
When does he turn 14?
February, late February.
Ooh. So he's going to graduate at 17?
No, he'll be 18.
Oh, okay. Uh, okay, so how long has he been playing quarterback?
This is year two that he's been playing quarterback.
Okay.
So he split time with another quarterback on his middle school team. So this is like I kind of told him this is your off season to make it happen.
What state are you in?
I'm in Michigan.
Michigan, okay. So how many I just left Michigan. It was very cold. How many months
Yes,
is
sir.
it cold out there? From
Pretty much from, well, actually, we're not doing bad this year. I would say usually from November till late March, early April.
whoa.
Uh-huh.
You got November, December, January, February, March. Ooh, that's like half the year. Okay. So how tall are you?
5'8" and 3/4.
And how tall is your
Always
wife?
at she's 5'5".
So he's I mean most likely he's not gonna be real tall. But there's always a small chance that things happen, through your bloodline. Uh,
Yes, sir.
I mean, Kyler Murray's a little guy. He's unbelievable. So that means it's possible if he can do it. Uh, the first thing that worries me is where you live. And I always wondered, why is it that all the quarterbacks, or most of them, come out of California? That's because of the weather. Because when I went back to Detroit, I was thinking, man, if my son played basketball or was a quarterback or a receiver, man, it's so cold outside you can't get no reps in. So my question to you would be, if you're going to stay in Michigan, how you going to get reps in? Because it's all about the reps.
And that was a lot of what my question to you was going to be. I've heard you talk to, how you did your boys with the wide receivers, getting the jug machine, and I'm thinking, all right, I understand how you can do that in the garage, but on the quarterback side, I'm like,
You got to go to the
there's a
field, and
few.
yeah, you got to throw. You got to throw. You got to throw all the time. So if it was my
There's a
son,
few indoor. Okay,
oh, you got some indoor places?
there are a few indoor places. It's hard getting in them. This is soccer town. This is baseball town. So like football is the last thing on everyone's mind around here.
So let me ask you a question. Is it possible to go to one of those facilities and say, hey, man, just beg the guy, can I just stand in the corner and throw straight line balls?
Definitely worth the shot.
I mean, you got to go there, and they have to tell you no. You have to go and say, look, this is my son. Here's what we're doing. We don't need to take up all your space, but if we can just even on the sideline, we just need to be indoors because it's so cold, just so he can get reps in. It's all
Okay.
about the reps. And if he had some receiver friends, even if they're just catching balls 30 yards down the field, then every now and then the field may open up. Let's say they're playing baseball or soccer. All of a sudden between games, you may be able to do a couple of routes. But
Okay.
you got to knock on a lot of doors because living in Michigan, you're hurt, you hindered by the weather. I saw that. So you're gonna have to find a way to get reps in. You got to get reps. You got to get some receiver friends who want to, there got to be some receivers on this team that want to get the work in, and you got to get them together. Now,
Absolutely.
you may run into a situation where You're a father. You're willing to drive your son to the facility, but the other receiver's dad is lazy, and you may have to pick that guy up. Say I'll pick him up
Yep.
because we need somebody to
Okay.
catch balls. So he has to throw, and I would do as many 7-on-7s as you could because
Okay. Yeah,
it's
that
reps,
was
reps,
definitely one of my
reps,
questions.
reps. Yeah, 7-on-7, you got to do a lot of. You got to have a lot of reps. I mean, so many reps.
How many reps are you thinking, like per week or month, or is it just as many as you can possibly get in?
Let's say football season is over with.
Yes, sir.
I would I would throw 13 years old. Give me a minute here. I would throw 4 days a week. I would throw for 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
But is he right-handed or left-handed?
He's right-handed.
Okay, so if I were you, I would have him at the end of every session throw with his left hand for like, I don't know, 40 balls, 30 to 40 balls. Just straight line,
Okay.
not anybody running routes. Because I believe in balance. And if you don't do that, you're going to create an imbalance. Almost equivalent to if you went to the gym and you did curls and you only did curls on one arm. You never did curls on the other arm. That's kind of weird. Right away, you know
Right.
that ain't right. I see guys' elbows with tennis elbows, quarterbacks, shoulders messed up because they're not throwing with their left arm. You create an imbalance. You got to keep that balance right. There's no. I'm not a quarterback, but I'm just a logical person. This just makes sense to me. You can't just do one arm of nothing. It's going to create injuries. So make sure you do
Yes, sir.
that. Yeah. What about lifting weights? Is he lifting weights?
Well, as soon as we got done with his middle school season, we started to get in the gym. I will say, 1 month in, he's starting to feel himself a little bit. He's walking around with no shirt on, but
Okay, good, good.
um,
Good for him. Good for
yeah,
him.
he's definitely.
But here's some exercise I want you to you got to just take my word for it. Stay away from him. Cleans. If he does
And
cleans
deadlifts.
and deadlifts, stay away from that.
Yes, sir.
He can end up with his clavicle broke or something in the game because it weakens it. Now, the problem is you go to these schools, they got this strength and conditioning coach telling all the kids to do it. Now, if your kids say, Coach, I don't want to do that, that's going to be a problem. So he has to tell him, hey, Coach, I'm faking injury. Every time I do that, my shoulder hurts really bad. And then he'll say, okay, don't do it. Same thing with deadlifts. Faking injury. That's the only way you can get out of it because you can't tell him, I think it's stupid, So you have to be
Right.
smart and just tell your son to fake an injury and just don't do them.
As for the lifting, we don't really have like a full program. I've kind of been using an app, just kind of put his measurements in there and gave him a workout. Should we be doing more core and lower body things for him to throw, or should
Okay,
we?
you got to
Because I've
train
also
his.
heard you say just bulk up.
You got to just do bodybuilding workouts. So it means
Okay.
he has to do bench press, work his chest, shoulders, arms, legs, and back. And
Okay.
I always work my neck too. I always work the neck. We work calves. Work everything. Just work the whole body. Just train the whole body. Just don't do deadlifts and don't do cleans.
Okay.
So funny. I have a friend of mine. I told him this, and his son hurt his back when it was last year, and he was in his junior year, so he couldn't play.
Mm.
I go, I've been telling you since he was 9 years old, don't do a deadlift. Why would you let him do it? And then they're in the championship game coming up here. 3 weeks ago, I get a call from him. He broke his clavicle.
Oof.
I go, was he doing cleans? He goes, yeah. I said, well, I told you not to do it. The two things I told him not to do years ago, He did. So don't be that guy, as I'm saying to you. Just
Yes,
just do
sir.
what I tell you. Sometimes you don't understand it, so what? Just do what you're told. Because you don't want your son to come back, oh, and there's other guys on the team going you're gonna hear injuries. Because so and so hurt his back. What was he doing? Deadlifts. So and so hurt his shoulder. Does he do cleans? Yeah. Stop, stay away from that. But just
Okay.
make sure you're doing bench press for chest, you know, curls, bicep, triceps, pull downs, bent over rows or something like that for his back, squats,
Yes, sir.
leg extension, leg curls for his legs, doing calf raises, he can do those against a wall or on a with one dumbbell in one hand and do one legged.
Yes, sir.
So it's easy to do. Uh, but I would most definitely get him strong because if he's not strong, he won't have a good arm. It's the strength and the power that makes his arm strong.
Yes, sir.
Is he athletic?
He is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he can run.
He can.
Okay, good.
And and that was the difference between him and the other quarterback this year. He's a little bit more agile and a little bit faster.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, I think I most definitely would, in terms of weights, I would train each muscle at least right now, at least 2 days a week.
okay,
Chest twice, arms twice, however you want to break it up. But at least right now, 2 days a week.
okay,
And when he does squats, go light. He's not trying to be a bodybuilder. Make sure he goes real light and goes all the way to the ground.
okay,
I'd rather him go light weight, 10 reps, 15 reps, all the way to the ground, all the way up, opposed to half squats with more weight.
okay.
He's not a power lifter or a bodybuilder. He's a football player, so make sure you explain that to him.
Yes, sir.
He has to
He's
hear
done.
that.
He's done pretty well so far with him having him in the gym because that was the one thing. I know you're going to be looking to your left, looking to your right. This you don't have to be tough guy in here. You do what you
Mm-hmm.
can, learn your form. Get comfortable in the gym. Like I said, this is really his first go round in the gym, so just kind of wanted to get him comfortable. But I know on this back end coming into 2025, we're gonna have to get things moving.
Yes. How's the league he's in? Is it tough?
That's been the huge question as you got this eighth grade kid moving into high school. Where do you send him? I think the school that he's supposed to slide into, they're Division two. Um, Great coach. They have a new coach. He was the league coach of the year. Um, they went into the third round of the playoffs this year, so I think there's something good there. And I've heard you say put him in the place with the most eyes. And for here, that would be where he's going right at
Well,
Midland High.
let me add something to that. If he's a quarterback, that's where that philosophy changes a little bit because only
Okay.
one guy can play as a quarterback.
Yes,
You
sir.
got two receivers. You know what I mean? You got two DBs, but you only have one quarterback. So I would first try to get to the biggest stage, as long as they're
Okay.
gonna let him. If it looks like he's gonna get a chance to play. If he doesn't look like he's gonna get a chance to play, I wouldn't go there. He has to get on the field and do reps.
Okay.
So if you take him to the number one school and he's sitting on the bench, I wouldn't do that. I would take him to a
Okay.
smaller school or a school where they're gonna let him throw the ball. He has to throw the ball, not a wing T or some weird stuff. You know, some of the schools
I
they run
do.
that wing T, and your son's a quarterback that's not good. He has to get some reps in. But most
Okay.
important thing is you must understand this coach could never get your kid, can never get the maximum out of your son. Only you can. That coach could never get your son a Division One scholarship or Division Two. Only you can. That coach does not have time to get in the car and take him to the facility off season and sit there and count his reps and then drop him back off at your house. He don't have time to do that. Only you have the time to do that.
Right.
Outside work, all the outside work, the guy who puts in the most outside work wins, period. Back in the day, in the 70s, the most athletic guy won. Today, those days are gone. The guy who's
Okay.
trained wins, right? So what's built will always outdo what's born. Always. See, back in the day, the most athletic guy made it to the league. The biggest, the fastest, strongest guy. But now there's guys who are small tonight. Tomorrow they wake up huge. They're lifting weights. They're training. So you got to put a lot of skill. You got to find a quarterback coach. And
Yes, sir.
I would tape the drills because you got to pay him. I would tape the drills. Then I would go to the park and reinforce those drills.
Okay.
There's a lot of footwork that they do. So I would say, you know what? Twice a week, let's say you find a coach or online, go online, there's quarterback drills from a lot of guys. Let's say just pick footwork. So here's some footwork drills that quarterbacks do. And you see it online or you see it from a trainer. Either tape it or bring your phone to the park and tell your son to copy those drills. 15 minutes a day, 2 days a week.
Okay.
15 minutes, you'll be amazed how 15 minutes changes his ability. You can do 2 days a week in the park, go 15 minutes, do these drills. He'll do them,
Okay.
and go home. You'll be amazed if you keep doing that, how good his feet are. Happens overnight.
Okay.
It compounds itself.
So with him being a smaller guy, I've heard you say, "Let him sleep, let him sleep, let him sleep."
Mm-hmm.
Uh, here's this other side of, should he get a workout in the morning, or is he still a little too young for that? Let him sleep and just have him work, at night when he comes home and in the weekends.
Are you talking about the weekends?
I'm talking about every day.
Well, he has to go to school, don't he?
Yes, but that's what I was saying. Is there possible? Maybe we wake him up early for,
No, no, no,
okay,
no. Ooh, never wake him up early. Ooh, no, never.
okay,
Mm-mm.
yep, okay,
Never. Because every human beings, puppies, they all grow in their sleep. No one's growing it while they're awake.
okay,
So you gotta let him sleep as much as possible.
yes, sir.
You never know what happens to him. He may be taller than you think he's gonna be. He may hit 6'2". You never know, but let him sleep.
Okay,
But the training, oh my God. I went to a basketball game, high school, last night. And I think it was like at least 12 kids on each team. And I was with a friend of mine's kid. And because my friend knows me, his kid is putting up a lot of shots. He's putting up 1,100 shots 4 days a week.
whew, okay,
Okay? He got one of the little machines that you shoot it in and it shoots the ball back at you. I said, you
yes,
can't
sir.
make it. How are you going to make it if you don't have that? It's not possible. So this kid is like 13 years old. And so now he's putting up he said, Mr. Brown, I'm so good now, I never miss. 1,100 shots 4 days a week. Here's what I said to him.
Okay,
We're at the basketball game. I said, look at all these players. 2 teams. How many of these kids you think are putting up even 500 shots a week? This guy was 13 years old. I said, think about it carefully before you answer. He looked at me and said, I don't think any of them are.
right,
I go, of course they're not. That's the beautiful thing about sports today. Everyone's lazy or they don't get it. So for you as a father, if you get it, it should be relatively easy.
yes, sir.
Can you imagine if even 30% of those guys are putting up them shots? That'd be difficult now. So take advantage of all the lazy and not just lazy, but uninformed parents. You have to take advantage of that. And it's a
Okay.
job. Hey, it's a second job. I'm warning you right now. It's a second job. There's a lot of days
Uh,
where you're not going to want to get up. You're not going to want to drive to that because that facility that I'm telling you about, the one that may let you in may be an hour away, but you
right.
still got to drive. Hour up, hour back. You got to do it. There's no excuses. You got to do it. I drove
No such
hours.
thing as late. No such thing as lazy kids. Only lazy parents, right?
That's it. And once you understand, it's not that the coach is not capable. It's not his job to do that for
Right.
your son. But everyone, all these new age parents think the coach can make it happen. I looked at all those kids on the bench. They all go to practice. They all do what the coach says because they think that's all it takes. And if he keeps working hard with the coach, maybe a little bit of work on the side, he'll make it. No, you got to do all the work on the side, and the game is just to show how's your work. Let's say you're in your garage or you're in the gym or you're working out somewhere. You do the game to see if you're dominating your peers. That's all that's for.
Right.
It's a way to measure your development. So when he's out there playing 7-on-7, he should pick guys apart. If he's not, you got to go back to the drawing board and try to figure out, go online. Look, isn't that beautiful? We have YouTube, we got Twitter, we got so much social media. You can learn everything you need to learn. But you just
Absolutely.
got to understand how much work you need to put in. That's what you got to learn. Not just what kind of work, how much work of that work. So
Okay. No, that sounds good.
what
Um,
is it? Is he, how's his diet?
So once again, that's one of those things that we've just kind of started working on after he's got out of football season.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to get more protein in him. We've started with protein shakes. I know you have yours. I told him he has to finish the one that we have right now. Like you said, kids don't like it because it's nasty. He definitely said this was nasty. So
Yes.
we'll be
The one I
we'll be
have,
trying yours next.
it took me a long time to develop it. Cane protein, for those of you who want to know, CANE. So you go to cane protein, and the ones I developed was really good. I made sure of it.
Okay,
It took me like 2 years to
he's
get it developed.
he's ready for something new. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll definitely be checking that out. But yeah, for diet wise, like I said, we've just been on it for like the last month or so, but trying to get more protein into them, more fruits and vegetables. I heard you talking about dog food. So we've been trying all of these things. Like I said, it's the first month though.
Now, also, if he's, let's say your aspirations to go to Division 1, Division 2, or NFL, whatever it may be, whatever your desires are and your wishes for your son, you have to tell him that every day. He has to know why you're doing it.
Okay,
You just can't be screwing around, just willy nilly, and just doing the workout. It's fun. No, there's a reason we're doing this, son, and here's why we're doing it. Because the other kids won't do it. You got to find a facility that will let you throw. You got to find something indoors. You got to find
okay.
something. There got to be something near you. What city are you in Michigan?
I'm in Midland. I'm in a small city. I'm about 2 hours north of Detroit and an
Oh,
hour
okay.
north of Flint.
Oh, okay, okay. There got to be something somewhere. I don't care if it's an
There's a
hour
few
away.
places that yeah, there's a few places that I'll definitely I'll reach out and see if I can get in. So
And I would just drive. Sometimes if they told me no, I'm driving there, and maybe I get lucky, find a guy, a janitor with a key. You never know what you find when you go down there. Say, look, man, I'm just a father trying to help his son, and you'll be amazed how you'll find
right,
something if you keep going. Now, I don't want to hear about, oh man, it's an hour away. I was driving every 2 days a week, went Thursday or Wednesdays and weekends to LA from my house one way. Is at least an hour, sometimes hour and a half.
Okay.
But I do what I got to do,
Yes, sir.
And I tell folks, I go, look, I remember Fred Warner. You know that guy?
Yes, sir.
Fred Warner was on our 707 team. His mom was driving from San Diego, which is 100 miles from where, no, maybe more, 125 miles. She was driving. So it took her at least 2.5 hours at minimum, maybe more, to get there.
Wow.
She drove Fred every weekend to our 707 team because she heard it was the best one. Now
Okay.
look at him.
Right.
You got to get the work. You got to put the work in, man. How's his grades?
Grades are good.
What's good? What's
We
good? What's that mean?
he's at a 3.7 right now. I know. Well, almost 2 years ago, we found out he was dyslexic. So we've been working with them,
Yeah,
and his grades have improved
yeah.
highly since
That's
then.
yeah. Dyslexic is tough. I'm also dyslexic,
Okay.
and so it's a tough thing, Hell, I look at numbers. And they be jumping around like crazy. Like I see 89. But I write down 90, 98. So it's kind of crazy. But uh, make sure you get as much outside help for math, English, whatever it is.
Yes, sir.
Because what happens is there's no difference between school and working out. It's all about the extra work that he puts in. There's no
Okay.
difference. Same thing applies. Only reason a kid writes down the wrong answer because he doesn't know the right answer, right? And so if you
Yes, sir.
have the teachers, the school system is set up like the football team. How is the teacher going to have 40 minutes to teach 30 kids? That ain't possible.
True.
How a coach going to teach, let's say PE? He has, I don't know, 40 kids, and he's going to teach them how to play basketball. He has 40 minutes. By the time he takes roll, line them all up, and there's two baskets, four balls, they'll never learn.
Right.
It's the same thing with school. The system is all screwed up. Kids can never learn. You got to have outside help. In order for your son to get the maximum out of for you to get the maximum out of your son, you have to get outside help.
Okay.
You can't just, okay, I'm going to practice. Man, I felt so bad for those kids last night on those basketball teams. I'm like, look, and they really want to do something. They really want it, but no one told them what it really takes. And that's sad because some of those kids, if you told them, they'll do it.
Right.
So your son's lucky. He's lucky to have you as a father. Period. Because it's obvious you
I,
calling me, you're trying to figure it out. You're not one of those lazy fathers, or you wouldn't be calling me.
I'm trying to figure it out.
He,
I never played
he,
football a day in my life, so I'm like, all right. So I started doing my research, and then I saw you. And I'm like, all right, we gotta follow John Brown, man.
yeah, it's. Look at my neighbor. He's a small little Mexican kid. Shoot your eyes out. He showed me a video last night. He goes, Mr. Brown, look at this. He's in the gym shooting threes. He was about maybe a foot or 2 feet behind the 3-point line. High school 3-point. He was shooting. I said, well, shit, he hasn't missed. It's like, I'm counting like 15, 16, 17. I said, wait a minute. Did you work on, did you cut that and paste that video on there? He goes, no, that's me
Right.
nonstop. He said, I'm shooting. You wouldn't believe how I shoot right now. Now, he's a small Mexican kid. He wasn't born like that. He met me. And I told his
Right.
dad what he has to do. And his dad said, okay, I'm going to do it. And they did it. And they're doing it. He's not 6'6", some athletic guy. Those guys are worthless. You got to put the work in. And now when they see him, now listen carefully.
Okay.
I asked that kid, as he was showing me this video, telling me about his school, the drills they do, and how he's standing out. I said, I have a question. Did your coach or any kids say to you, ask you how you doing this? Like how are you shooting so good? He said, no one ever asked him.
Mm.
That's weird to me. If I see a kid doing that, the first time I think, okay, maybe he's lucky. I'm gonna keep my eye on him. He does it again. I'm gonna say, hey, come here, young man. What'd you learn to shoot like that?
Right.
What's your program? My point is, if you see another kid, a great, really good quarterback, ask questions. Don't look at him and say, "Oh, wow, he's really good." You need to ask him, ask his dad, "Hey, man, what you guys doing?" That's how you
Okay.
learn. So please make sure you do that. And your son's
I
going to go
definitely
to high
will.
school, dude.
Yes, sir.
You got to talk about 7-on-7. You got to talk about. I need to teach you how to get articles written up on him. Because
Okay.
if you don't get articles written on the kid, it'll be a difficult climb. So if you're at 7-on-7, there's a lot of writers. They're always there from 24/7 Sports, Rivals. They're all out there writing stories on kids. You just got to
Okay.
look at those guys, find them. Usually they have a backpack on, baseball cap. And you'll see them with some cameras taking pictures or writing notes. Introduce yourself, introduce your son, and ask them, hey, is it possible to give him his profile up? They may say no at 13. Okay. Well, sir, it's a pleasure to meet you. Can I have your number? I'll stay in contact with you. As he gets older,
Okay.
the next year, ask again. You got to get his profile up. It's not to make it to the next level. It's not just throwing footballs on the best team. Daddy has to know how to navigate
Okay.
because those writers can write stories on your kid. Because the college coaching staff, they don't have time to go through all of the state of Michigan and watch all the high schools. They go to Rivals, they go to those websites, they go to 24/7, and they go, okay, who's the best ranked kids in Michigan? And they start there. Oh, these are the top ranked quarterbacks. Let me look at them. How they get ranked? Because these guys I'm telling you about are writing stories about them. So you got to get
Okay.
people to write stories about your kid. If he gets better and better, they'll write stories. I guarantee you, Kyler Murray has stories written on him when he was in high school. But
Okay.
you can't wait for them to come to you. You got to go to them. You got to be proactive. Nothing
Okay.
for a waiter. Nothing for a waiter but a tip. That's all you're gonna get is a tip if you're a waiter. So don't wait around. You see a guy, say, man, I wonder if that guy's a beat writer. Say, excuse me, sir, my name is so and so, and I have a kid I'd like to introduce you. Are you a beat writer by any chance? Who you? Oh yeah, yeah. Oh really? Okay, good. Then you start meeting them. Is there any more out here? You go, that guy right there is one. Go introduce yourself. You need to get everybody's number in your phone. You need their
Okay.
phone number, their cell phone numbers in your phone. Because it's not just lifting weights, eating protein, throwing balls. No, no, no. That's one part of it. You, as a father, got to get the scholarship. And you got
Okay.
to start now. You can't wait till he's in high school. You got to start 7-on-7 this season.
Yes, sir.
But work him so much where when they see him, they go, holy crap, who is this? This kid's unbelievable. Because he
Okay.
put so much work in, they have to look at him regardless to his size. This kid's unbelievable. I've seen those. It's like some type of apparatus that has squares in it, and it moves, and you throw balls in
Yes,
them.
sir.
You got to get one of those too. And he
Okay.
got to throw so many balls where he almost never miss. Think about what I'm saying. So you got to bring it close. First, okay, go. And every day, if it was me, I would say, okay, in the center one, you got to make 10 before we leave in a row without missing.
Okay.
I don't care if it's 2 feet away from him. It's a very complex thing. to go from 13 years old to the best college you can get in to the NFL. Right now, at 13 years old, you got to feel pressure. What do I mean? You should feel the pressure of, I need to get my son a scholarship right now. You got to feel that pressure. You can't cruise. When my kids were your kid's age, everyone thought I was crazy, laughing at me and telling me to calm down, relax. No, I'm not relaxing. This shit gonna go by fast.
Right.
And next thing you know, you'll be standing there with no offers. So no, you gotta, man, you gotta put it in drive and keep that sucker in drive. It's on
Right.
now. And thank God you called me now and not when he's 16, because there's a lot to learn. So as a
Absolutely.
quarterback, he has to learn how to take all the reps. When they're working on, so let's say there's a 7-on-7 club near you. You go try out, they're gonna look at him. And if he doesn't cut in front of guys, take all the reps, they won't look at him. But if he's
Okay.
cutting in front of guys, man, I want to go again. Let's go. And he finds a guy with the best hands. Hey, man, let me throw to you. Don't throw to them bums. If a guy can't catch, don't throw to his ass. Pick guys that can catch. Guys that you say, okay, this is the best. This guy got the best hands out here. You want to throw to him, but you got to be ready. I'm telling you right now, you have football season just ended, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Man, you got so many months of getting ready for 7-on-7. It's on right
Yeah.
now.
7-on-7 practice started this past Wednesday. So.
Okay. So remember, the 7-on-7, he has to do the practice, but you got to do extra work because that's not enough. That's not
Okay.
enough. Not nearly enough. So, and then when you get to the tournaments, you got to find the beat writers. You're not there to just clap your son's hands. So let's say you go to a 7-on-7 event and you called me up. My first question to you is going to be this. How many articles you got written on your son? I don't care about win or lose.
Mm.
How many articles did you get written on your son? That's going to be my first question to you.
Okay.
If you can't answer that, that's a problem. I don't care about the
All right.
score because you got to understand how the whole thing works. It's like a machine. You got to understand how the machine works. It's like a
Okay.
car with no gas is not gonna work. So make sure you understand. You got to get articles written because the Division I coaches, they're gonna look at the websites. They're lazy, dude. I live in Southern California. I love USC. All the schools my sons went to, I love because I'm partial to them.
Right.
But ASC, those guys are lazy. They don't go out to recruit. I'm just telling you the way it is. When my son was come out, they didn't come recruit. My oldest son, they never came to recruit him. They didn't come recruit Osiris. They didn't come recruit Amon. We live up the street for them. Those sons of bitches are so lazy. You understand? You got to know how
Right.
lazy they are as a father. And you got to know that that coach at your high school, it ain't his job to get your son scholarships. He's going to tell you he can. Oh, I can get scholarships. Don't listen to him. He's lying to you.
Okay.
Only scholarship he'll get you if your son is so good, everybody's knocking his door down, begging him to talk to him. And then he'll take the credit.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying it's good or bad on his behalf. His job is to teach your son his scheme. That's it. So right now, you got to figure out how to get your son scholarships. And I'm
Okay.
telling you, if you're going to meet a coach, maybe he's 15, 16. Coach said, man, who's your son? Oh, okay, yeah, I think I saw him. Yeah, he's nice. Hey, coach, he's really good. We love to go to your school. We love what you're doing. We love your program. He's going to write your son's name down. He's going to go to his office. He's going to Google him. He's going to hit enter. If nothing comes up, you're doing daddy ball.
Okay.
He's not going to believe you. He's not going to tell you he's going to do that. I'm telling you because I know how it works. So you got to get articles written on him. So when that joker does Google it, he goes, "Oh man, this kid is good. Not only his dad thinks so, other people think so. Let me check him out."
Mm. Okay.
You got to understand that part. There's different levels to what you got to do.
Okay.
So even at home games, next year he's playing football. As you walk on the field, let's say he's playing JV or freshman. I'm looking around for writers. I'm looking around for all the writers. If I see some, I go up to him and introduce myself.
Okay.
Remember, your son is a child. You can't tell your son, "Go introduce yourself, son." No, you got to negotiate on his behalf, man to man. You can't have a man
Yes, sir.
negotiate with a little kid. You teach your son later when guys come to the school. Let's say he's in class. He's 16. And let's say Michigan pulls him out of class. The coach, they want to talk to him. You tell your son, if that ever happens, you pull your cell phone out, and get his phone number and his name. Because if you don't, he's gonna come home and say, "Hey, Dad, a guy from Michigan came. Who? Who was it? I don't remember his name. You have his number? No." Then you're gonna call the coach. The coach say, "I don't feel good. I don't feel safe. I don't feel good about giving coach's number to parents."
Okay.
Now you're really screwed because the coach is going to be pushing the other kid before he push your kid.
Right.
You got to understand the system. So you got to educate your son. Whenever you see a coach, you meet a coach, get his first, last name, and his number. If you don't have your phone,
Okay.
you write it down. Very important. So you're training him, and you working on getting scholarships. And once they start writing more and more articles, hey man, now you're moving. Now you got
Okay.
coaches. Now you're at school or you're somewhere, and you see a Division I coach, a Division II coach walking on the track because he came to see some other kids. You walk up to him and introduce yourself, get his information. "Hey, my son's a QB. I want to send you his highlight video." All right, you get his number. Every coach you see. And are you shy?
No, sir.
Okay, so I want you to go up to him immediately. Let's say you're sitting with me, and you look to your left. You say, "Hey, Mr. Brown, there's a coach from Michigan." I look. That's all it is. When I look back, you better be up and walking over there right now. You better not
Okay.
wait. You better not wait 30 seconds. Because you know why? These guys, let's say you're in Michigan. The guy flies from Texas to see a kid.
Yeah.
Now, when he flies from Texas, he has to get off the airplane, rent his car, get in his car, drive however many miles to your school. He's not going to come from Texas to see one school. He's not going to do that. It doesn't make sense. He's going to map out 3 or 4 schools. But how long is it going to take him to drive to each school? Practice doesn't last that long. So he only has 10 minutes at each school. And he got to get back in his car and go to the next school. That's why you got to
Okay.
talk to him immediately. You got to understand, he's not there to hang out. So when you see him, you must attack him immediately. Because next thing you know, he's gone. You get his number,
Okay.
you send him videos, highlight videos. By that time, you should have put so much work in where your son is real good. So between you putting in all the work, understanding how to get the scholarships, now you're making something. Now you're cooking with grease. Now you as a
Okay.
father, you understand the system. Now you know how to do it. Most guys don't know how to do it.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of anything else. There's a lot. And if you ask questions, it makes me think about things. Off the top, those are some things that you got to know. because you as a father have to train your son and get your son scholarships. It's a cold thing.
Okay.
I didn't know that when I first got into this game. I'm like, well, I got to do what? Why I got to do it? We're going to the school. He do it. Now, what about that camp? You know that camp? I think they still have it in Michigan. Sound Mind, Sound Body.
Yes, sir.
You
Yep,
know about that?
they're out of Detroit.
Okay. That changed everything for us.
Okay.
I'm in California, and I'm walking 7-on-7 practice. And a guy was walking by me. And he said, man, if that was my son, I would take him to Sound Mind, Sound Body. He'd get a scholarship. And he just said that to another guy about my son. And I go,
Mm.
who the hell's that guy? And the dude said, oh, that's so-and-so. I said, well, who is he? Well, he does this and that. He train kids and that. And I go, so I went up to the guys, hey, what you talking about? Oh, there's a big camp, man, in Detroit, woo, 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 woo. And there's 300 Division I coaches and this and that. I go, really? When is it? Give me the guy's number. So I called the guy up. I got on an airplane. Let's go. Me and my son.
Wow. Okay.
And let me tell you something. In addition to everything else I told you, that changed everything. I'm in
Okay.
Michigan. Listen, I'm in Detroit meeting beat writers from Detroit area. I'm cleaning up I've got all the numbers, all the beat writers in Detroit. I got them all because I was up on the game. And I met all the coaches. I've seen so many coaches, at least 300 of them. I'm getting
Wow.
phone numbers, man. Look, I'm getting their phone to get your number, man. I'm gonna send you a video, shit. You know, I'm working. I'm sweating. I'm working so hard. My son's out there running. I'm out here working, like a tag team.
Okay.
Next, you know, I got a scholarship offer for him from that camp. First one we ever got.
Okay.
Because I wasn't afraid to ask for it. You see, if my son was 8 years old, I asked. I remember I was shit. Went to UCLA. Cyrus was 15. Alma was 14. I asked for a scholarship for all three of my sons to the coach. I don't care nothing about nothing. You tell me no. Can I get a scholarship for my boys? 15, 15, 14, and Equanimous must have been like 16 or
Okay.
16 or 17, something. They gave Equanimous a scholarship. They didn't give the other two, but I asked. You have to tell me no. You ain't walking by me and you with a certain school. I'm asking for the scholarship. I'm asking. Tell me no.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And if you tell me no, it's okay, sir. Just want to let you know we love your school and we would love to be a part of it. You know, maybe next year. But I always ask. And you in Michigan, you got to go to Sound Mind, Sound Body.
Yes, sir. I'm on it.
But you got to now you're a different guy. You know how to work the beat writers. Your son's working the field, and you working the writers, and you working all the coaches. Get all the
Okay.
numbers you can get. Scrape them up. I got so many phones, man. This phone right here, I
Yes,
got at
sir.
least over 200 coaches and phone numbers in there.
Wow. Okay.
I was working. My son's doing that, and I'm doing this. It's a tag team. That's what I'm trying to teach you. That's the most important thing I can teach you. You got to know the tag team. So you got to get him ready, though.
Okay.
You got to
Yes,
do
sir.
all the reps. Get all the reps in. Go online, look at Tom Brady. They tell everything what they do. And just do a little more than they did.
Okay.
And next thing you know, it's working. Oh God. You know how many kids, how many parents? We went to Sound Mind, Sound Body. And I was so amazed and so impressed, I didn't tell nobody when I came back to California. I ain't gonna tell everybody because they all end up there. So
Right.
I gotta give my babies some word. Next thing I know, let me see if I can show you something.
Okay.
Who sent me this here? They all wanted to know, hey man, how'd you get that scholarship? So man, we just talked to the coach, man. But I didn't tell him about sound mind, sound body. Sure, I ain't trying to give up what we doing, you know.
Right.
Um, I don't know why it's not pulled up the other day. Let me see. Hold on. And so you live there too.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's your backyard. if you can't get a scholarship in your own backyard, that's a problem. You ain't gonna be able to see this that good. But I'm gonna see
Okay.
if I can show you. You see that?
Yes, sir.
That's Hardball, Osiris,
Yep.
and Amon Ra. Sound mind, sound body.
Okay.
When I say we got on the airplane, we put the work in. We put the work in. Jim Harbaugh was liking him at that young
Okay.
age. Look how young Amon is there. He must be like,
Right.
I think he's like 9 or 10 or something. I
I'd
was
say
trying to get
so.
scouts. So I've been putting work in for a long time. So you live in Michigan. That's the easiest place on the planet to get a scholarship.
Okay.
But I don't know if they're still doing it like they did it. It was thousands of kids, thousands,
Wow.
and
Okay.
when they opened up the enrollment, I think like one day later, it's over. It shuts down,
Mm.
full.
Okay.
Can't get in no more. So you got to right now start working on trying to get in that camp
Yes, sir.
because let me tell you something. And now you know you got the tools. Now you know how to work it too. Come on, man.
All right.
Sound mind, sound body. That was the most impressive thing I ever seen in my entire life. I don't know if it's like that now,
Ah,
but back in the day, it was unbelievable. And you
okay.
live there? Come on, man. Come on, it's time to eat. Shit. You live there too? Come on. I had to get on the airplane because I
Yeah. No,
heard
that's an hour and a
just
half easy.
and dog. I just heard it. I didn't know if it was true or not. I'm gonna find out. I'm
Okay.
serious about this thing. And now you don't go there like clap your hands. Go ahead, son. No. Only thing you tell your sons, if he ain't doing the right thing, motherfucker, take the reps. Take all the
Right.
reps. That's the only thing you should be telling you to your son. And you be working on scholarships. So you do what you gotta do. I'll see you later. I'm gonna work on scholarships.
Okay.
And don't hesitate. I don't care if my son was 5'2", I'd ask for this. Tell me no. So what else you got? We're almost done, but give me some look at what you wrote down here. Benefit. You gotta do as many showcases as you can. Anything to do with
Okay.
showcase, you put him out there.
Okay. There's a showcase in Detroit over Christmas break. So okay.
Well, you got a lot of work to do before then.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Now, to your disadvantage, stay away from creatine
Okay.
because it sucks a lot of water from the muscle. I mean, from the bone, from the tendons into the muscle, and
Okay.
you can pull things, you know.
Yes, sir.
So don't mess with that. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So you got a lot of work to do because 7-on-7 started, and man, you got to do work with your son. So when he steps out to show his skills, he's amazing.
Right. Okay.
So you got to do that, and then you working on the beat writers. You working on the coaches. You working on everybody. You talking to everybody.
I can do that.
So if you got any more questions, hit me up. I mean, ask them now. Let's wrap this up. If you got any more questions, go ahead and shoot them.
I think that's it.
Anything you think of. But you understand how it works. The machine.
I,
You
I
train
do
him.
now.
You train him. You train him hard. and you train him well. You don't screw around. You don't miss days. You train him, and you tell him this is why we're doing it. And no talk, no lip, no talking back, no none of that bullshit. You the father. Here's what you goddamn doing. Let's go. You thank me
Yes,
later.
sir. Yep.
But now you smart. When you get to the 7-on-7s, sound mind, sound body, you working the coaches, you working everything. So if you went to sound mind, I'm saying, how many articles you got written? How many coaches' phone numbers did you get? That would be my first two questions to you. Because that's all that matters.
Okay.
If you don't get them, you don't do that, you ain't getting no scholarship. And today it's hard to get scholarships because of the transfer portal.
Right.
Before they come to your high school, we got 26 scholarships to give out. Ain't like that now. They get a lot of half of those things going to the transfer portal.
Yes, sir.
So you got to really double time it now.
Okay, I'm on it.
All right. So, man, it was good talking to you, Brendan.
My absolute pleasure. I'm glad I got a chance to chop it up with you and give me something to go with because like I said, it was my first time go around with this, so your knowledge is priceless.
You got. I'm telling you right now, I gave you what you need. All you got to do
Okay.
now is do the work. You know how the damn thing works. And a lot of kids, listen carefully. Everybody, listen up. Not every kid that get a scholarship deserves a scholarship. Sometimes that
Mm.
daddy knew stuff you didn't know. And you may see a kid say, how the hell he get a scholarship? That's how he got it. He knows something you don't
Okay.
know. So uh, do the damn thing. And if you guys are listening, again, I love talking to parents, but I would love to talk to a single mom. Because, a single mom, she has a different challenge than you would have. Are you married?
Yes, sir.
See, that's different. A single mom is a whole different program out there. So I want to be challenged to talk to a single mother. So if you're a single mother, call in. I want to hear what you got to say. You know what I mean? And I want to talk to some white folks. All the people calling me are black. Only white folks call me was from Australia. You know, there's a lot of white parents out here. Y'all don't know this either, and y'all got a different challenge because there's some reverse racism going down in sports. So you got to know how to deal with all that stuff. So you can sit there
Right.
and act like you got it all you want, but you don't have it. You don't. You need to call me up and let's figure this damn thing out. So I'm John Brown. We're about to sign off here. Black Coffee. If you guys want to subscribe, hit that button down. I guess there's a button or something down there you got to do, and just follow me. And you may hear something you need to know that you need to hear. And if you got a kid who's a little scrawny, a little skinny, and you go, man, if he had 15 pounds, he'll get a scholarship. I have a protein company called Cane, CANE, Cane Protein. You go to Cane Protein, I tell you right now, if he eats the right stuff, take the protein, lift weights, he'll gain 15 pounds maybe in 2 weeks. Period. All right, my man.
I
That's all we
appreciate you.
got. You got it.